Hello and welcome to Sobrix. I'm Adam and this is Sobrix. This is my channel for reviewing Lego sets and building them and other Lego related stuff. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the Lego Creator 3-in-1 Future Flyers set. This is set number 31034. It has 237 pieces, and I paid $16 for this set. This is another one that I got at kind of a thrift store Lego event type thing. It was sold to me as is. I don't know if it's complete or not yet as of recording this, so because I haven't opened it and verified everything yet. It sounds like there's pieces in here not in the bag, so it's not sealed, it's not brand new. I'm imagining one of these models is kind of like put together and then maybe pieces fell off, so I'm going to kind of see what's in here. For whatever reason, this set, it's from 2015 2016, retailed for $25. I don't know why exactly, but it seems like in the US and maybe other places too, this set is kind of expensive to get sealed. Used, I think, yeah, probably less than $20. But for a sealed copy of this, it's like $60, $70, $80, $90 or something like that. And that's a little bit strange to me for a Creator 3-in-1 with this amount of pieces. So I don't really know what that's about. I'll have to do some digging. But either way, in this video, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to see what it looks like in the box. Hopefully I have the instructions. If not, I'll use the online instructions. I probably would have done that anyway. I'm going to try to verify all the pieces are in here, and then I am going to build it, and then I'll build the main model, and then I'll share my thoughts on it. So while I do all of that, I will speed the video up, and then I'll slow it back down to review the main model for this set. So until then, enjoy! Okay, so while we look at the build process for the main model for this Lego Creator 3-in-1 Future Flyers set, I wanted to say thanks for watching and then remind you, if you like this video, click the thumbs up. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button. That helps me a lot. So first, this had a model that was inside of the box that was almost built all the way. So I wanted to disassemble that, and then I also wanted to verify that I had all the pieces. So I did take some time to do that, and interesting thing here, I actually found some pieces that weren't in this set at all that were in this box, so those are a little bit of a bonus there, so to speak. So that is what is going on now, and then once I do verify everything, I will be putting this together. I still am very confused as to why this one is so expensive in the aftermarket, and I don't know the reason here, but we get onto the build. We start with the torso. Some good techniques in here. I found out a little bit later that the torso is a little bit fragile. The leg, kind of upper leg area, the quad or whatever, the thigh area is pretty basic, but I loved how the feet were done. They're very, very bulky, super, super cool. The, arms are kind of basic as well, but there's good posability, there's good articulation, and then we build some of the kind of accessories here to add on to this, including some wings and some rocket boosters. Another thing I thought was interesting, we didn't use all of the pieces in the main model, which I don't know if I've ever seen that before. It's kind of weird. So there's some pieces in this set that are specifically for an alternate model, which is just interesting. So now on to my review for this set. Okay, so this is the main model for the Lego Creator 3-in-1 Future Flyers set. This is kind of the robot mech kind of thing, robot sort of thing here. There's no minifigures in this set, so it's not like a mech, but it is kind of a robot. And before we dive into everything, I did want to mention something, because this might be the only time I've ever seen this, or maybe just one of few, is that the main model, the model that's like the big picture on the front of the box, the A model, some people say, does not use all of the pieces in this set. So we have these 4 rubber tires here that are not used in the main model, as well as this interesting kind of light blue translucent slope piece here. There's 2 of these in the set. This uses just 1. In subsequent videos after this, I'm going to be looking at the alternate models here, and the first one I'll look at is this kind of futuristic flying jet here. That uses both of those. And then in the third model, it uses both of those, but in the main model, it only uses 1. And I thought that was really interesting. I just didn't think Lego designers would do that, but that's kind of unique here, and I think that's pretty cool. And like I said, there's no minifigure. I'm not exactly sure where to start to talk about this one, but I'm actually going to take it apart a little bit, but also not really. I'm thinking ideally this would come apart a little bit easier here. There we go. Because we do have this removable kind of back area, but the reason I take that off is because I wanted to talk about kind of the build process here. And so when you start building it, you build up the torso first, and it starts with this kind of 2x6 with the pinholes through it or whatever. We add on some other plates for the waist area. We have this double joint, or like this thing for the ratchet joints on either side, kind of at the hip area. A nice angled plate back here. We do use one of the plates with the kind of extended bar element to the ball joint or mixel joint there. And then we do some detail out in the front. We do add on the pieces that up at the shoulders, not the like shoulder armor here, but the ball joint pieces in there we add in, and then we cover it up with a couple pieces here. And I'm finding out that because of the additional stuff we add to this on the back, this isn't put together like super strong with everything locked down, such that when we do add the kind of wings and the rocket boosters and all that stuff, this might come apart a little bit. But I did want to be able to show kind of the basis of this. Once we get the torso sort of done, we move on to the legs. These are really cool, and they're kind of simple. You know, I don't think the quad area is that good, but we do have these ratchet joints up here, so we can go forward. We can also go backwards. We can also, you know, twist or, you know, splay them out this way and this way here. So a good amount of range of motion. We can also turn them like this. And after looking at something that's somewhat similar to these, but not exactly the same in the older kind of joints, kind of like this from like that Super Battle Droid Technic Star Wars set from 2002, these have just a lot more going on. So we can like fold them out, we can twist them, and that allows for a lot of range of motion. These pretty basic here. The hole doesn't bother me too much. Have some good color blocking in here with kind of the orange and the white. Some of the black and gray is all fine too. Does feel a little bit mechanical, but I loved the feet here. They're super bulky. They're thick and wide in a way that allows for like a lot of stability, which is great, which is something I always appreciate. In terms of range of motion, it's a little bit hard because these use the like ball joint that has the axle through it. So when you connect that, you can't twist these at all. You can just lean them backward like that. You can lean a little bit side to side, but not a ton. But this is stable enough to stand on one leg, for example, which is pretty good. It's just the like the ankle or knee kind of joint here has a little bit of limited range of motion, so it can't go forward too far, cannot turn at all, but we do have a good amount of, you know, range of motion at the hips, so that we can maybe do some different stuff here. I just really like how the feet were done, even if we do have that limited kind of range of motion in there. We have a little bit of that translucent dark blue here on the bottom. Inside, we have kind of these hidden away rocket booster propulsion things there, which I think is really great. They use actually the like rim piece for the wheels with the kind of disc piece in there. I like the orange studs throughout here. I do like that we can use this arch piece so we can kind of see the side of that. It feels like very futuristic and sci-fi and cool. So that's very, very good. And then we build out the arms. Pretty simple, pretty good range of motion. I'll move kind of the armor or pauldron or whatever those are out of the way. So we can spin this all the way around just because of this ball joint. We can go up, down, everything there. Then we have a mixel joint at the end, so we can twist this all around. We can bend it here, bend it back, kind of bend it down, and then the hand can rotate. We do have these fingers that are kind of like the mech fingers in the kind of metallic gray, dark kind of gunmetal gray there, which is nice, which is pretty good hands. This doesn't have accessories that would go in the hands at all. I'm sure it could be modified to accommodate something like that, but out of the box it doesn't have anything there. Again, I like the color blocking here, feels pretty good. We do eventually add on these kind of shoulder armor plates there, and then we build the head, and I really like how the head's done here. There's some good building, kind of some stuff like the way that these are clipped on to kind of make that angle kind of taper towards here. There's some kind of studs not on top, and this is a really nice use of this piece here. And that actually reminds me, because I wanted to talk about this before I got into it, but when I verified the pieces for this set, there were some extra ones, so I bought this as is in a resealed box, used, and it had pretty much the car model built, and then I went through and verified all the pieces. But I did have a bunch of pieces that aren't in this set, not a bunch, but several pieces here that weren't in the set, including some relatively big ones that are just, I guess, bonus, which is, there's a risk when I buy a used set. This was from kind of a thrift event where it had sealed sets and used sets that were retaped up, some with some were incomplete, some were complete. I got a Chima set like that, but I had to order some extra pieces. This one actually was complete and had those random extra pieces, so I thought that was unique. And the only reason I was reminded of that is because this piece is really cool. It's different from this one slightly, and that reminded me that we did get an extra one of these in this set. So I think the head's really, really good here. It can kind of turn a little bit. It can spin all the way around. You can kind of fold out these pieces here potentially. They're not really like ears or like cheeks, but there's something there, and I just really, really like how it looks when they're kind of all the way in. It creates this interesting angle about these kind of sloping down towards here to meet up with this one, but then also the angle of where this is clipped on, I feel like looks really, really cool. I think this is supposed to be like a one big eye there, so it's kind of a Cyclops robot sort of thing here, which is very cool. And yeah, I think the range of motion is overall pretty good. You can kind of get the arm up like this. You can kind of turn the head a little bit like that. Maybe you could have both arms going sort of forward, kind of, or maybe even do it like this so it looks a little better. I'll do that over here too. And then we have kind of the propulsion from the feet, and we can kind of get this into a position to make it look like it's flying here, really, really in a cool way. But it's also very stable and can stand on its own and can stand on just one leg. You might be able to get it on like one leg and one hand if you really, really push it a little bit, and that's cool. So a lot of good range of motion actually for everything in here. It's not perfect. This is a little bit basic in the quad area, but I like the feet a lot, and I think the arms are really capable, which is great. But then we do have the kind of accessory pack here, which is these wings and these rocket boosters. So these rocket boosters are the kind of last thing you add, and I'll pop those off and I'll show this wing assembly. It does have this Technic axle coming through there, and has kind of these plates sticking out. This can be attached in the top hole on the back of the model here, and it goes through. And when you do that, it doesn't stud down, but it kind of it does. There's not a lot of gap there. It feels very sturdy in there. In fact, when I was first trying to get it off of this model, I like tore apart the arms and the torso and everything area there. So You attach those on like that. Looks pretty cool. They're kind of down by the side, almost looks a little bit like a cape or like something else. But then these are on a ratchet joint, so they can be flared out, almost like Buzz Lightyear's kind of things there. They can't go up any higher than this, but in a lot of the images they seem to have them kind of in that sort of orientation. And then again, we can kind of get into like a one hand forward sort of flying kind of mode here, which looks pretty cool. I think you can get them out so they're just kind of straight across as well, which more Buzz Lightyear-esque, but anywhere in between is also kind of cool. And I think the idea of this like coming down and then sort of like using the feet boosters almost like Iron Man does to kind of hover and then land is very cool. When the wings are behind this character, it does limit the range of motion a little bit. You know, you can't have the legs go back much more, but if you fold them out, then you can. So that's one thing to consider. If you really want to get all of the range of motion, you might have to move the wings a little bit there. And then we have these two rocket boosters again that use the kind of wheel rim area that will be for the tires, and these can get clipped on. So we have these modified plates there, we have these clips here, and those can be attached. Pretty simple build, doesn't add too much bulk. They can be tilted a little bit there because they're clipped on, which again I feel like adds to this idea that we can like get this in a position to really make it look like it's flying and really cool. And you can kind of lean the head up as if it's like looking down as it's soaring over. These also look kind of like something that might fire missiles out of them or something like that, which is really cool. So I think this looks great with all of the kind of accessories on there, and I think the like posability and the articulation of everything is pretty darn good. So that's really nice. There's not a ton else here, you know, as far as building techniques goes. It's pretty straightforward, and I think that's fine. It's a capable set for, you know, people of all different experience levels and stuff like that. So that's really cool, and I think this is a great toy. It's a great size. I think it's probably about like 6 inches from head to toe, or maybe from the booster back to the bottom here, which is fine. It's totally fits in the hand, super swooshable, and then like I said, it's very stable and can be balanced well, so that this could be posed. It can't get into like a 3-point stance necessarily, or like get into a super like get on its knees, so to speak, but that's okay. It doesn't really, maybe it doesn't need to. That would be an extra level here, but just because of the nature of the ball joint they use for the feet, that doesn't really work. But this is super fun. Not a ton of pieces, good size, feels really good to handle, and I'm not too worried about things falling off or anything like that, which is very nice. I think, you know, an accessory would have been cool, and for whatever reason I have been having trouble getting the back assembly off. Now that time it worked pretty well. This little orange plate that sticks out a little bit actually kind of goes in and overlaps the plate on the back of the neck area there, which I think is nice. It really kind of fills in any gaps that might be there, and it doesn't actually that's not the part that makes this a little bit more difficult to remove. I think it's just how the nature of the friction created by this Technic axle that's going through multiple pieces in there. So that's that, and like I said, it doesn't make use of a couple of the pieces here, but as is, this is a really good model. It's a great A model, and I'm excited for the B and C models because they look probably, in my mind, I have a feeling I'm going to really like those and say that those could maybe stand on their own as their own set, but I'll cover those in a different video here. So I think that's everything. I'll show the extra pieces because we do get some, and I don't mean the tires and the kind of blue slope piece here, but the small ones that are traditionally the extra pieces. So one of the orange stud, this white tile here, the blue translucent cheese wedge, a couple Technic pins there. The gray one is like with less friction, and the black one is with more friction. So those are all the extra pieces, and this set is 237 pieces. I paid $16 for it. It's retired. It's from 2015. For whatever reason, this set sealed goes for like 50, 60, 70, maybe even up to $100. I don't know why. Someone, I would love an explanation. I don't know if there is a good explanation. Just might be it's a set that a lot of people want. I don't think there's anything like particularly rare in here as far as like colors or pieces that aren't available otherwise, and it just is surprising to me that this set would be, apparently the market value of it is so different than what I would assume. I'm thinking, I can't remember, this set I believe was $25 when it came out, which makes sense, I would say. It's not, it's from, 25 from 2015. So 25, for whatever reason, Brickset says new. It's roughly $90 used. It's about 17. I got this used. It was complete, pretty good condition. I didn't know it was complete when I bought it though, so paying $16 for it, plus it was for kind of a non-profit thrift kind of Lego event, seemed fine. It was a little bit of a gamble, but I'm really, really happy for it. I'm happy with this at $16. That feels great. It's under retail, which already is a huge win. And then when I compare it to the apparent market price, it feels like I got an insane deal, which is really, really good, because if I would have had to look into buying this in a sealed box, I probably never would have bought it, because I think $90 is much too much for this. $50 is much too much for this, unless someone like really, really wants it, or if I'm completely missing something that is valuable from this. So I don't really see that there. So I think I got a great deal, for $15, $16. Some of the Marvel or like Star Wars mechs are about there. You do get a minifigure with those, but this is, I think, more robust. It's bigger, it's taller, it has maybe more posability. It does have the whole like back piece here. And, it's not IP related, so it's not a one-to-one here. I think if this was on shelves for $20 or $25 in 2024, I'm a little so-so on it, because some of the recent Creator 3-in-1s I feel like have been pretty good value. And this one's kind of right on the cusp there. 237 pieces. It retailed for $25 in 2015 into 2016. I'm sure that's $30 now, considering inflation or whatever else. But I paid $16. That feels really, really great. So I'm not worried about it. And one of the things I always like to point out when I'm looking at a Creator 3-in-1, it's not just this model that I have to use to kind of evaluate the value. And I also like to consider that I'm going to be able to take this apart and build this set, and I'm also going to be able to take that apart and build this model rather, and those look really good. And potentially if there's other kind of mock makers or different people that have made different kind of designs for this model using these pieces, maybe I'll be able to look at some of those too, which is, like I always say, a ton of extra time with the set, with the pieces. 3 distinct models that are like a good toy, I'm assuming, in their own right, or hopefully they are, and that definitely is worth something. That's a little bit harder to quantify on its own. $16, really great. So that's a win for me, and I'm super excited to look at those other models here. And then I don't know which one I'll land on. The car seemed really cool. I didn't look at it too much. I just kind of took it apart, didn't want to spoil a ton of it for me, but I'm excited about that one. But in the next video, I'll be looking at the plane here, or the jet, the future jet there. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. And I think that's everything. It was really, really fun. So if you like this video, please click the thumbs up and give it a like. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date on all the Lego videos I'll be doing here in the future, including the other alternate models for this set, maybe some community designed models using the pieces from this set, but then tons of other Lego sets from all different themes, all different shapes, size, price point, piece count, tons of different stuff. So subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming Lego videos. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers at the time of recording this. We aren't there yet. Maybe we will be by the time this comes out. I kind of doubt it, but hopefully that would be amazing, and I appreciate it. So if you're not subscribed, maybe consider doing it. It's free to subscribe on YouTube, so it's pretty low stakes, but it does help me a lot, and it means a lot to me. So thank you very much. And then if you wanted to support this channel in a different way, you could do that here on YouTube with membership supers and thanks. And I have the Patreon. It's in the video description. It's on my channel page, patreon.com/sobrick. So if you're interested in those things, again, it's very helpful, and it means a lot to me, but it's certainly not needed, but it is a big help. So thank you very much. And with all that said, until next time, thanks. Bye.